Coming to these places, I always remember how this movement started. Actually, being around for 50 years, I have to say we are always starting. I don't think personally we left the stage of starting. Even now, Hare Krishna is established, and even here in Zagreb, you walk like this on the street, and many people go, Hare Krishna, yeah. They know. They know means that they are informed. Really to know, well, that's a little bit another thing. They know we exist. So when Srila Prabhupada entered such an atmosphere, it was like nobody ever saw anything like this before. And even Srila Prabhupada didn't know what the response may be. So when you listen to his first lectures being spoken in such an atmosphere, he doesn't speak even about Krishna. He is speaking still completely perfectly about Krishna consciousness. Consciousness. Consciousness, we can learn from Bhagavad Gita, and this. It's defined in three aspects: thinking, feeling, and desire. These three things. Whoever exhibits these symptoms, he is alive, he is conscious. And when the body is there, the soul is not there. Then there is no thinking, no feeling, no desire. Which is a universal rule. It's not just relating to human beings. There are 8,400,000 kinds of species of forms who are all thinking, willing, and feeling. Therefore, from a Krishna conscious point of view, all living entities are living, let's say in Croatia, are called praja. They are citizens, actually. Regardless if they are humans or animals, trees. This is all. Now somebody again say, well, what is tree thinking? They do think, but very minimal. And this is why, well, just imagine an intellectual tree, you know. It would be a catastrophe. The tree will think, what am I doing here? How did I got into this? Oh my God, I'm losing the leaves again. You know, I'm completely helpless, I cannot move. I want out of here, I cannot. So there'll be very much depressed trees, you know. So Krishna is so kind, according to the form you are living in, the soul is living in, he gives a particular type of consciousness. So our consciousness is limited to the form we are living in, and it's only the human form which Srila Prabhupada stressed. Amongst 8,400,000 species, there are 400,000 called human, but then again there are divisions between cultured, not cultured, more highly developed. This is of course nowadays not very popular, because nowadays the dogma is that we must be all the same. But we are not the same. Everybody is individual and with different type of consciousness. So generally Srila Prabhupada defined that the consciousness in a society is actually limited only to 4 aspects: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. You think, well, this is quite primitive. Come on. We are sophisticated people. We have our philosophy, we have our poetry, we have our art. About what? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Sometimes very artistically expressed, or very romantically, very sophisticated, but it comes down to the same thing. So Prabhupada was not paying attention how sophisticated the thing is expressed. He said he went to the essence, and this is the amazing thing about Srila Prabhupada. He was very essential, you know, yeah. He was going to the essence of the problem, to the basics. Because if you don't understand the essence and you don't understand the basics, you will not be able to solve a problem. Like a doctor, you know, doctor goes to the root. You know, where did the infection came from? What is the infection? You don't see infection. What infection? You just feel sick. But there's a reason, there's a cause. There's always a cause for these things. So Krishna consciousness is only for people who really want to find a cause, who are consequential. You know, most people are satisfied just with the effect, with the result, something. You know, it's warm, it's cold, it smells good. You know, it's just superficial, external, sensual way of perceive this world. For those who are interested in Krishna consciousness, this is not enough. Sometimes they think, I will renounce, this is for renunciates, right? We renounce that world. So, no smelling, no thinking, no feeling, no desiring. I had enough of this. You know, these things brought only problem to me. You know, I had so many desires and they got frustrated. No wonder I'm frustrated. And I have more desires, probably I will get again frustrated. So better no desire. My mind, that you don't have to be Krishna conscious to understand what a misery the mind can bring to you. Like you can sit here and thinking, I came here to listen about Krishna or whatever, and suddenly the mind goes, I don't like it. Do you remember your boss, how he insulted you last week? And then you go, well, next week I will tell him, not like this with me. The problem is there is no boss here. You're sitting right now here, but the mind is not here. The mind can go anywhere, anytime. Right away here. People go, I always enjoy it when they go to Croatia to the beach and they go, now I will enjoy. They lay in the sunshine, they go, I'm on holiday. Well, the mind is not on holiday. The mind will come back and go, do you remember? And then you suffer right away on a beach. You know, yeah. So how do you get rid of that one? He is with you all the time, day and night. So this is how do you manage such a problem? And people know that there's a problem there. What do you do with the mind? How do you run away from the mind? Not possible. So, again, we are going to the root of the problem. Now, from this aspect I mentioned, thinking, feeling, and desire, the most powerful one and the basis and the cause why we got into this difficult situation is desire. Desires can be so deceiving that they will bring us even to a place we didn't plan to go to. They will make us to strive for something which we actually, by dint of intelligence, which is over the mind, the intelligence goes, don't do this. You have done it already once, it was not so nice. But the desire is so strong, you will do it anyway. Srila Prabhupada is using an extreme example of a woman giving birth to a child, which can be a very dramatical event. You know, men have no idea. Man involvement is minimal. Women have to carry all that pregnancy, and then comes the birth. I was part of it, not giving birth. But I was very close to it. My wife was giving birth. Then I realized that actually birth and death are very close. Very close. It was horrible. It was horrible. I was thinking, why people are always so happy? Oh, a child is born. Well, it just survived. Sorry. Did you ever went to such a place? It sounds like they are killing people there, you know that? So sound, just the sound is terrifying. So, anyway, this is practical. And Prabhupada gives example. Women sometimes, they suffer so much, they go, never again. That was the last child, she survived, thank you very much. Never again. No. There will be another one. And then another one. And then another one. How is it possible? You know, desire. Because desires, we know in Krishna consciousness, when you die, you change your body. But not the desire. There is a body, we have two bodies. The physical. This is earth, water, fire, ether. Yeah, this is elements. Collected in a form. People say, what do you mean fire? Well, it's warm, just feel it. It's heated up, you know. There's a fire in the body. It's just not too much, otherwise you will burn. It happened to people too. So, you know, so earth, yeah, this is evident. Water, liquid, yeah, that we know when we go to the toilet. You know, so we know, yeah. So this is element, but then there is another body, subtle body. That's intelligence, mind, and the false ego. It's called false ego because there is also a good ego. You know, false ego means false concept. That's me. Look, I'm Croatian. That's his body. I'm a man. I'm a woman. This. And this is what keeps us going, because we wake up in the morning and we go, yeah, that's me. Looking in a mirror. Yeah, how do I look today? And then we go on the street. Today we were chanting on the street. This is all walking false ego. Everybody's just like, I'm here. I'm always entertained because they're different coloring in different countries, you know. So, you know, like, I was entertained about the Croatian man or the Balkan type of man, you know. They always like, how does a man look like? Heavy man. You know, macho, all of it. You know, it's a game, you know. And when women, they sing, oh, well, that is very beautiful. I'm probably the most beautiful woman in the town, you know that. And they walk around just, everybody is looking. No, nobody is looking really. But this is the ego, false ego. They think, you know, you know, yeah. So this is false ego. It's a game. From Krishna conscious point of view, the body is defined like a dress. So it's like a carnival. It's like a mask. Everybody has a mask and goes out. This false ego. This is like, and that's what keeps you going. We have a concept. I remember when I was a small boy, I remember vividly, I have a very strong mind, so I developed identities for myself. Children are very strong. They think, they wake up and they go, today, now to be updated, and I know Yugoslavia, the old Yugoslavia. Actually, the only thing I knew about Yugoslavia was Old Shatterhand and Winnetou. I grew up only with that thing. Famous. I don't know, maybe the young people don't even know what I'm talking about. But this was made in Yugoslavia, Wild West movies, series, famous. I was in Yugoslavia is full of Winnetou and Old Shatterhand. That's what it is. When I was a small boy. So I said in the morning, yeah, I will be a cowboy. Yeah. So I walked around, But next day I was thinking, no, today I'm something else. So every day I played somebody without asking, who's actually really me? That came later. On a certain point I said, actually my whole life is just every day I play somebody. But who is me? What to speak, where do I come from? And what to speak, what the aim of life should be. I didn't know. What shall I be? So I was looking, what are the others? How are they doing? I grew up in an artist community. Wow, that's where people really get ideas. Artists have no limit to fantasy. They go, well, I'm this today. And people go, wow, that's really crazy. And they pay for it, They go, my God, he's more crazy like me. That must be a good artist. That's generally what art is about. Sorry. So I grew up with people like this. Everybody had some amazing idea. Everybody thought I'm very special. That's called distinct from others. That's also a mechanism. I have to be different from others, otherwise I wouldn't be special. So I am very special. That's all products from this false ego. But there's a real ego. And that real ego is, that's the real me. We are eternally individual persons. But right now, with the false ideas. And the whole process of Krishna consciousness is to bring out the real person. The real me. Who is me? People pull out passports and this and that. I always laugh when I come to Croatian border. In the old days there was snow. There was border check, Passport. And I have all kinds of passports. The police get confused. He said, where did you get all these passports from? I said, sorry, I didn't die yet. Yeah, I'm born in Czech, grew up in Germany, lived in Sweden, got married in Sweden, and that's how you collect all these papers. So I always put this in front of the police, and you could choose something, what do you like? And they got like, oh, this is too complicated, just keep on driving. So when I die, all this is going to be just paper, plastic, names. I like always on a Croatian border, because we have a spiritual names for a very specific reason, to take distance from the material designation even more. It's a symbolic thing. It's not the most important thing, I would say. It's symbolic, but we get at the point of initiation, we get another name. That has that reason. We just take more distance from these false identities. But when I was on the border, they always open my passport, they're going, my name is Miroslav. They're going, Miroslav, that sounds like Croatian. And they were immediately happy. They identified me as half Croatian already, on a basis of a name. Shall we close the door?
No,
it's okay. So that's how we get identified. According to our name, designation, we come from a certain country, But this can change, especially today. It can change very much. And we are now sitting right away in a place which changed many times. This used to be Yugoslavia. Before it was the Habsburg monarchy. Before that there was a whole part over there, Italy. And people really think, one devotee told me here in Croatia, yeah, my grandmother was asking, she was born in Italy, grew up in the Habsburg monarchy. Then they came and they said there's some gentleman called Tito, he's now in charge. So it was Yugoslavia. And now it's Croatia. And when she heard, oh, we are Croatia now. Then she said, oh, then we are under Croatia, isn't it? Because she was used always that somebody was there to occupy the country, the place she was living in. You know? So that's how temporary and how external these designations are. They have nothing to do with our real self. Same thing when we are growing up. I mean, I do remember sitting in a trolley as a baby. I really remember that. I remember the quality of the trolley and, you know, yeah, but now I don't need any trolley. Not yet. But the body changed, obviously, okay? So, but my mind didn't, I can remember. Similarly, we come from so many lifetimes which we forgot. And that's a good idea. God is so merciful. He says, from me comes remembrance and forgetfulness in Bhagavad Gita. Because just imagine you will remember all your previous lives. People say, oh, that's nice. Nah. You will also remember how you died many times. You remember your frustrated plans and dreams. You will remember all the people you had to leave. You loved them. They are gone. So we will have many depressed people, you know. But nature, under the direction of God, is so merciful. We are born again as a new baby. We don't know one damn thing. You see how babies are born? They go, nyeh! You know, and they are very optimistic. And they are small children. They're always like, here we go. You know, parents are tired. They go, oh, so much optimism. Okay. You know, yeah. Because parents know more. So they are a little bit slower and not so optimistic. Children, they don't know anything. They are just always discovering things. Hey, there's something new coming. Great. You know. And that must be so. Otherwise we wouldn't grow up. You would have lots of depressed and suicidal babies, you know. Yeah, that would be terrible. So it's all wonderfully arranged, I think. So we can strive in our lives and progress, you know, and this. But the real point comes, and that's why we are here in Krishna consciousness, where you ask, okay, so how many times I have to go through this? Remembrance, forgetfulness, remembrance, forgetfulness. And what actually happened? Every lifetime, I grew up. At a certain point, maybe I got married. Then I had a family. Then I was older, the family was gone. Then I grew older, and then at a certain point I died. So what actually happened really? I ate a lot. I slept half of my lifetime. I met some people, they're all gone. You know, they're all gone, finished. All people are sometimes really depressed because they see the emptiness of that, what happened, and there's emptiness, what is coming? Nothing. If you want to get a really good picture of this, go to an old age home. I had all this practical experience. I remember my father being at the end in an old age home, and he lived for a long time. He was 92 years old when he died. And he was very conscious. He was not like, not at all. And he was just watching this old age being, and I said, what am I doing here actually? You know, and all his life, pastime, he was a very famous person, he was a musician and all this, it was all gone, finished. And then what? For us in Krishna consciousness, death is just another beginning. But which you don't know that, and you are in ignorance, it's terrible. People just go, so finished. They always tell you, work hard, then you get pension. When you get pension, you will enjoy. Really? Did you ever enjoying pension here? You know, you can go here to Croatian coast when pensioners make holiday and look how they enjoy. You know, it's really a big action, I tell you. I travel through such a places too, and I remember Canarian Islands. I was in all kinds of places. So there's a place which is really highly populated by pensioners. Nobody is younger, like 70 years old, something like this. And then I shouldn't make these jokes. Actually, I'm one of them. So, anyway, but I refuse to join this group, you know. But they are going in the evening out, enjoying. Yes. There's nobody there. It's a special place, no disco. There's only one guy sitting there with some harmonium going, and then they go dancing. He is 85, she is 90, okay? And then they sit there and they go dancing. So it's like they actually hold each other not to fall over. That's actually what they do. And it's silent. It's a very morbid atmosphere, you know. It's silence, just... And then there's just two bodies there. And the only sound you can hear is the sound of ambulance. Because there's always some pensioners falling over there, and he was too long in the sunshine, he drank too much. So it's always the ambulance you hear in the background. This is how we want to end up our life. It's pretty morbid. Pretty, Srila Prabhupada said, wasted life. It was good for nothing. Because actually to sit here right now like you are doing, this is very valuable. Thank you for coming, by the way. Not everybody in Zagreb is coming. We noticed. You know? This makes you very special because many people know we are here and they saw us today, you know, on the street, but they will not come. They will today hope against hope. You know, go downtown Zagreb, whatever it is. And I tell you, Zagreb is from all many cities I know, it's quite cute. There's not really much going on here, you know. I don't know even, they sometimes have some nightlife in Zagreb. I think they go to sleep quite early, I don't know. Not much going on here. But there are really cities which come alive at night. It's like hell opened. You know, they go, and now we're all going to enjoy here. And the criminality comes up and everything, drug consumption is just like hell. That's actually what enjoyment is. You know, I mean, I don't know, Zagreb, I'm not a night owl, so I don't know, but it's doesn't look to me like something very aggressive. And so, of course, if you're an expert, for sure you'll find some very degraded place, but you have to look for it. Anyway, so this is hope against hope. They try again. Next morning they wake up and they go, oh no, this was horrible. I don't want to go in detail, I see it. Since 50 years I'm watching people trying to enjoy, and you get actually quite compassionate because you think, my God, this is so hopeless. And again they try, again. You know, whole week working, and Friday night something big happens. Saturday, which usually people don't work, you know, you finish yourself completely off. And Sunday you just try to, Sunday you try kind of to recover from the, you know, from the horrors of the past days or past nights, better to say. And then Monday again, you know, again the same place, the same work, the same school, you know. I mean, what a life. It doesn't have to be like this at all. No, 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 no. Now, we are not advocating laziness, not at all. Sometimes people interpret spiritual life as being something lazy. Not at all. We're very busy. We are very busy. But in another direction. So this movement is for people who are inquisitive, who ask questions, who are searching. It takes a little endeavor, but I tell you, the result you get is fantastic. Just a little endeavor, and the result you get if you start to practice spiritual life is simply wonderful. the misery slowly disappears from your life. Not immediately, but as much more sincerely you chant Hare Krishna, you investigate in philosophy, you get more and more aware, knowledgeable, and you do enjoy, but in a different platform. It's not this, actually enjoyment is basically defined as a type of forgetfulness. That's essentially what it is. You know, yeah, you just try to forget that boring, horrible life, and then drinking this and smoking that and blah, 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 and then you are happy. Ha, 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 ha. And then the effects of the intoxication go away and you are much more miserable as before. That's generally what happens. If people don't believe it, please go ahead and try. You know. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, after many, many lifetimes trying this, somebody starts to ask questions. It takes a long time. Anybody coming here, anybody sitting here, already had lots of experience before he even came to this state. So he gets investigating like, well, maybe I should just check something out. Maybe there's another level. Now the idea to enjoy is not bad. It's stated in the Bhagavad Gita, we are eternal individual persons, souls, who are essentially full of knowledge, eternal, and full of happiness. That's our spiritual identity. But it doesn't look like this right now, because we have this body here, which is obviously not so happy, at least not all the time, and not so knowledgeable. Oh, I forgot it again, you know, and for sure not forever. So it's exactly contrary to that, what we actually would like to have. And it's pathetic how people try by any means to, through the body, to achieve this. They go and study, I will be full of knowledge. Really? Study what? What other people invented, or what other people say? It's actually, sorry I have to say, but if you go to any sort of study, you will learn just the accumulation of various speculations or lies. Now, I'm coming from a generation where we used to actually drive crazy any teacher standing in front of us in a school. I was not alone. We were a whole school, just imagine a whole school class of people like this. The teacher was going, now chemistry. Water is chemical formula H2O. Sorry, I have a question. Why? I mean, we know what water is, but why this formula? Well, this is hydrogen, oxygen, and what is this too little doing that? I don't know. Who invented that? They didn't tell us that. Who said it is like that? Nobody explains where this came from. You just have to repeat. Year after year, just repeat. And then you graduated. Now, okay, you graduated as a good, well-trained parrot. And then what will you do with that? Because real life is about something else, you know. The moment I left school, I forgot everything. I mean, some counting they were teaching me, okay, but that I could learn at home, you know. Otherwise, nothing of this I could use in my life. Nothing. I learned it from joining this movement. I joined, I was 18. I really didn't know anything. So I just, you know, I learned just by, oh, that's how they... And then I discovered some things I learned very fast, easy. And something I will never learn. So I start to do things which I learn easy and fast. And there is other things I let other people do because they were more qualified like me. Simple life, you know that? Practical. That's the culture we are preaching. Do what you can, what you cannot do, let somebody else do. Simple. And what do you need for life? We mentioned eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's the demands coming from this body. You know how simple you can get these things? Yeah? Eating. Well, you know. Just people used to, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years, they were just eating, right? They didn't go to the supermarket. They didn't need this. They didn't need the European Union for that. They didn't need its tons of chemicals that they pump into that food. You know, nothing. They didn't need trucks driving the food here back and forth all the time. They were just sitting somewhere and waiting until the thing grew up. Then they picked it up. No, it was a work, yeah, you have to work. Without work, you cannot actually sustain this body. That's not possible. Yeah? Even a most lazy man who is sitting on a street begging, that's a hard work. And everybody has to do something to maintain this body. That's the world we are living in. But people used to do it quite simple. Mating, sex life. You know how simple that was? I still remember people. I used to live in a small village also, even as a devotee, with my family. You know, the neighboring lady, she was 90 years old. She lived with her husband. She was married to her husband for 57 years already when I met her. And she said, well, you know, when I was really young girl, I asked my mother, well, maybe I should get married. Who shall I get married? It's a small village. You know, not much to choose from, really. And the mother pointed to the neighbors, to the garden. There was a boy hanging on a tree, climbing on a tree. He said, you will not find a better one. And she said, okay. That was it. These people lived together for almost 60 years. Because what is the whole thing about? You know, mating. Yeah, how many times a life actually you are mating? Comparatively spoken to eating and sleeping. That we do a lot. The other things, people just talk about it all the time, but not really. You know, well, if you would have a body of a monkey, I saw it in India, we go often to India. Oh, monkey has 30 girlfriends, sex life in the middle of the street, no problem. I saw a big monkey having sex life, just grabbing some monkey, you know, one of this harem, there were 20 of them. So he grabbed them here, sex life, and he was eating bananas simultaneously. And he looked at me like, what are you looking at, huh? I was going, well, that's what I call luxury, you know? And humans, they're like struggling. I mean, it's not so easy, you know that? You have to humiliate yourself. You have to lie and cheat. And all this false hope connected to that. It's so complicated. Why to make it so complicated? Yeah, it's there. So just what it is, we don't want to go more in detail, but it's more simple as people think. Eating, sleeping. Sleeping? So you just, you sleep. Did you ever saw people shopping beds? You go, I don't know, you have it also, IKEA here and this kind of things. Yeah, the shopping house. So you go to that bed department. I mean, I just, for me, it's a pure comedy. People sit there and they go from one bed to the other and they go. And they go to another bed and they go, wow, that's a nice bed. Let's buy this bed. And you know what they do when they sleep? They know nothing. They're gone. You know, they bought fancy bed. When you sleep, you don't know where you sleep. You sleep somewhere. What's a big deal? You don't know one damn thing. So it's just an idea. Like we sleep also. We do all these things actually, what I mentioned too, but in a very simple fashion. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending means housing, protection. We want that. Yeah, we need a place. You know, this house is full of these little rooms where people go in the evening and close the door and they go, now I am protected, yes. And then, yeah, okay, we need something like that. So what do you do with that? What do you do with that? They just sit and they are alone. Then they go on the internet. I'm on Facebook, I have 5,000 friends. Really? No, you are sitting alone in a room. That's what you do. You know. It's all ideas, but completely frustrated. We got cheated all the way through. And everything costs money, you know, to buy. Buy the bed and buy the sink and buy. For what? So we are speaking now in a very plain and logical terms, before we even start to speak about spiritual life. Because you cannot have a spiritual life if you have so much material life. It's not compatible. If you want to have a spiritual life, then you have to reconsider how much of material life, anything directed to this body, we really need. And that's why devotees are just simplifying their lives. No, we actually don't need that. So why should I have it if I don't really need it? I would like to have it. Why should I like to have it? Actually, I don't need it. And suddenly you find there's so much time. There's so much freedom to use. People say, I have no time, no time, no time. Yeah, they have no time because they are using the time in a different way. You know, if you imagine how much complicated life and time the people, how much is it time absorbing just to stare into these screens. They go, I have no time, and they look, you know, what they are doing there. Well, that doesn't do anything to you. Switch it off and live some life. People don't live their own lives even. They live pre-programmed lives, pre-programmed by others who make money on them. So it's cheating. So we don't want to be cheated like this. We save time and then we investigate into spiritual subject matters, which is quite interesting. Like, good to know who I am. If I don't know who I am, then I get cheated. Guarantee. It's good to know that maybe I don't have to spend so much energy investing into this body, which will die by the way anyway. It's like if you earn money and put it into somebody else's bank account. At the end, so the whole life people invest into this body and then it's gone. Well, that's cheating. But it's the only thing I have. No, the body is valuable. We are not denying the body. But not like this. And regardless how you feed it, how you treat it, how you paint it, or whatever you do with it, it will anyway grow old and die. You cannot change that. It will anyway become like that. So why to waste so much energy in this direction? So spiritual life is for those who are serious after many, many lifetimes. They come to the point you said, okay, enough of this. I want something more, something new. I want to improve my consciousness. In spiritual life, there is still thinking, feeling, and willing. Even more so. We are thinking more. We are feeling even more. In the material world, when you are like just consuming things, you don't feel really very much. You just go, is it good? Can I consume it? Good. It's very superficial. But in spiritual life, you really get a feeling for existence of others, existence of other living entities. You know, you start to understand this is all God's creation. Everybody is an individual person. And everything belongs to Him, but everybody has an individual identity. Then you understand, like, I give you an example. You go in a forest. People used to go to forest and going, oh, good, fresh air, nice, nice. But you don't understand anything because it's just the trees standing there. They don't talk to you, you don't talk to them. In Krishna consciousness, you go in a forest too, but you understand, I'm surrounded by living entities. This is all individual, living persons in a very conditioned state. They cannot talk, they cannot move as we described in the beginning, but they have consciousness. Some sort of consciousness is there. And you realize like, wow, there's so much going on here. So you become more refined, your consciousness becomes more refined. Simultaneously, you don't get captured by that. You understand this is all temporarily manifested, you know. Sometimes people think spiritual life means it makes you like closed up. No, it's a temporary illusion anyway. Don't see it, don't touch it, you know, don't feel anything. This is what's frustrating, isn't it? So don't feel. Just chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. No. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. No. Bad idea. Then you are doing the wrong thing. There are other yoga processes. Please go ahead. Good luck. But don't chant Hare Krishna. Because if you chant Hare Krishna, you become more aware. Oh, there is others living here. I am not alone. And you know where they come from. And you know who created them, who created these bodies. You get more and more aware of the world you are living in, of its meaning, purpose, including of yourself. A very interesting way to change your consciousness. From a dull, superficial consumer consciousness to some really self-awareness. They use this expression, self-awareness. Then you ask God, who is self? I don't know. You have to find it out. Good, with what? How do I find it out? Well, think about it. You mean thinking? Well, that was cheating me before. I was thinking so many things. So how do I find it out? And therefore, we in Krishna consciousness accept spiritual guidance. Somebody who is living already alive in Krishna consciousness, so he can show us how to do that. We have to really discover it. Again, even inherently, we already know. We just forgot. So Krishna consciousness is a process of remembering again. Oh yeah, I'm not this body, this common sense. Oh, this is the meaning life. Oh yeah, that's what I should strive for. And spiritual practice is visible and it will be demonstrated by happiness. You become happy. But that happiness doesn't come from outside like that. It comes from inside. Even outside is maybe not so nice. You are still happy. Because you are not you are disconnected in that regard from outside, that you are not depending on it. You don't have a false expectations. I will go to Zagreb, I will enjoy. Really? Well, go around the city and see who is really enjoying. I don't see really many people really enjoying. They pretend they do enjoy, but what do you enjoy? It's sad, we just today walked through the old area where all the cafes are and everything, and people sit there, they get coffee, or they get a beer, and they go, now I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Enjoying what? They just sit there and wait for the bill coming, and they pay for it, and that's it. What do you enjoy? Not even mentioning that much of the enjoyment is actually very harmful to your health. That's a detail. You enjoy and die. Well, what is this enjoyment? And they know it. They buy cigarettes, it's written on it. When you smoke this, you will die. Oh, really? It's a really great enjoyment, isn't it? And then they tell us, why are you chanting Hare Krishna? What's the use of this? Huh? Well, we go, well, just try it out. We never tell people, you do that, you believe me. You don't have to believe one word what I today said. But we encourage people, why don't you try? Have a taste. Because you can renounce something only when you get something better. They ask us always, we follow certain principles, we don't do certain things, like meat eating, unrestricted sex life, intoxication and gambling. That's generally the 4 principles. And they go, whoa, well, where's your fun? Because for me, this is the fun. And we go, really? Really? Okay, let's analyze these 4 things. How much fun you get out of it. Yeah, start with intoxication. Well, it costs quite some money, and then look at the result. Did you ever saw a happy, completely drunk man? Nah. And it's actually various substances which are even poisonous, and you call it happiness. You are dying, it kills you. They know that this is harmful. So we save ourselves the problem. We don't need that. And then they come gambling. You know why gambling is a good business? Because 99.9% of people are losing. And some people make money on it. Otherwise, it's just a feeling, excitement, but you're losing. So you are losing your money, you are enjoying that. Why shall we do that? And then they go meat eating. Oh, really? Will most of the people get their meat on their own? Give the knife in the morning and say, no, please, get yourself some lunch. There's a rabbit lying there. Or kill some deer. Eat it. You want to eat it, then kill it. No. Most people wouldn't do it. But they go to shop and buy these pink packages and they think, they don't understand. This is a piece of somebody who didn't like it to be killed like that. He was trying to run away. One vegan girl, she told me, I think all slaughterhouses should be made out of glass. So people can see what's going on inside. You know how I became vegetarian? I was 15 years old. The teacher took us to an excursion to a slaughterhouse. I don't know why he did that, but it was so terrifying, it was so ghastly. After the excursion, half of the class was vegetarian, which was those days really revolutionary. It was like becoming a member of a terroristic movement or something. It was really heavy. My parents flipped out. You will die! You have nothing to eat! And I said, never again. Finished. Obviously, I didn't die yet. I'm always laughing when I come still to regions where people go, are you seriously vegetarian? They look at me and they go, are you vegetarian? Because they have this concept, vegetarian is like, no power, weak, So I told them, gorilla and elephant are also vegetarian, and they are not so small, isn't it? They go, yeah, you are right, yeah. There are still people like that. It's ridiculous. Now there is so much about vegetarianism and I could just go for hours. How much more simple it is to live like that. We collect things basically. We don't kill. Yeah, there is some plants also some killing. Yes, that's the reason why we have other thing. We offer everything to God. That's another aspect. But essentially, just wait until the apple falls down. The potato is already left over from the dried out plant. That's just the roots. Peanuts are already dried up. It's all leftovers, basically, what you are collecting down the road. Fruits just comes out. They don't run away. If you're not vegetarian, you have to go out and go, pang! You don't have to hunt potatoes, It's not needed. So this is simple, logical way of nourishing your body. Anyway, that's just the detail. Of course, and then comes the last principle, which is really shocking for people. You mean you have no sex life? How can you live like this? We didn't say that. We said no illicit sex life, not unrestricted sex life. Otherwise, there's an option, you can get married, and your family. Yeah. People think, that's not much. Well, look at this, how happy people become by too much. Sorry. The list of problems to get out of it is pretty long. It starts with AIDS and it ends up with paying for unwanted children for many years. Pretty troublesome. For what? For this few minutes? Sorry. This is a bad deal. So in Krishna we go, thank you very much. Another trouble saved. And if you really feel like, get married. Sure, we do that. Somehow since I joined this movement, was always at least 50-50. Half women, half men. I joined this movement, nobody was married. 1972, I joined this movement. It was just a collection of monks and nuns, basic, and young ones. I was 18, everybody was around 20, also 18. So can you imagine when you put such a crew of people together that there will be some friction in the air, for sure. And it did happen. One after another got married, basically. Better you get married and practice still Krishna consciousness as to be a lifelong frustrated, deranged monk. I always dislike people like that. This frustrated old man who are just saying, it's all illusion, give it up. What did they give up? They never had it to start with. So what do you want to give up when you never had it? Come on. So it's not very convincing, really. So a real renunciation happens by higher taste. In other words, you don't need it anymore. You realize, no, actually, I don't need this anymore. I don't want this anymore. It gave me trouble anyway. I have something better. So this is what we are doing in Krishna consciousness. Better philosophy, better eating, better lifestyle. This is called higher consciousness. By giving, and in this way we can give up the lower consciousness. This is big subject matters. I could go until midnight like this, but I will not do that. There's some question or some points to this, maybe. Or some comments. Yeah.
Your Grace, please accept my humble obeisances, and I wish you shared with us different phases you went through in your spiritual life in all these 50 years.
Yeah.
If it's not a secret, please.
I should become autobiographic.
Please.
They asked me to do that. You know, after 50 years, they go, why don't you write an autobiography? It will be not one book, it will be a whole library. I cannot do that. This will be so huge, you know, it's a big thing. So, yeah, sometimes I do share things. Yeah, sure. I like to share these things because I got my lessons on the road. And if I manage to prevent that some people didn't step into the same problem I stepped in, I'm very happy, man. You know? So, but there was the things I had to go through. In Krishna consciousness, we don't avoid things, really. We regulate them. You know? We don't sometimes, due to the presence of this body, we cannot stop something, but we at least can regulate it. Like I mentioned, sex life. Cannot stop it. So regulate at least. But where are the women? No, one woman. That's very regulating. Every married man can confirm. So very regulating. As one woman said, and she was not a devotee, she said, a woman can cheat 1,000 men, but she cannot cheat one woman. Someone or other, I don't know how it works, but they know. Men don't know one damn thing. They're like, you know. So when you have a wife, it's very useful. I found it very useful. I didn't want to do it. I know this is going to be complicated. It is complicated. Sorry. I don't want to depress anybody, but it's a complicated thing. You come very close to somebody who has also a mind, who has his own set of senses, who has his own ego concept of things, and who has his own desires. Now, how do you coordinate the whole thing? That's what the whole thing is about. Things get complicated. And it's very intimate, so it's very close. And you are married, you cannot run away. You are stuck. But with little intelligence, you learn to be tolerant. There are some things you don't change, right? It's okay. Can you live with that? Okay. What can I do? I would like to stop my romantic wife snoring at night. Can I do it? No. I'll tolerate. Get the earplugs. Whatever. Opposite is the same thing. So what do? This is a kind of, you know, you realize, not so romantic really. Just two bodies being parked next to each other. But the benefits can be very valuable. In Krishna consciousness also. You know, mutual help, assistance, loyalty. If you find that, well, that's a lot. It's very precious. And I saw it happening. And anyway, I don't want to be too autobiographic because I also got negative sides to it too.
Okay.
I learned really the positive sides, and I also got full blast in the face of the negative sides. And I didn't know that the negative sides can turn into positive sides again. You know, it's changing. It's my advice to all the married men. If your wife tells you, I hate you, get out of here, probably better you get out of there, but keep the door open. It can change. Opposite, the same thing. This slamming doors, you know, not very good. Keep the door a little bit open. What happens when maybe somebody comes in back again? That happened to me. Having a child, even before I joined this movement, I was a militant opponent of family and children, not because I hated children and not because I hated women, but because I thought this is such a responsibility. How can you handle this? This was for me big, because I come from a very monogamic family. My parents were married together also 50 years before my mother died. So for me the word divorce was, what is it? I thought all people are like that. No, not all people are like that. Things do happen. So, so I had it all, you know. I have a 25 years old daughter. Oh, she was also very instrumental to teach me something. You know, I was at her birth. Very educational. Men, they always think, yeah, I will become a father. My wife is a little bit round. Yeah, I will become a father. I end up in a clinic that night with 5 men sitting in a waiting room while the wives were in emergency operated getting children. And the door went open, bang, and there was a nurse with a baby and said, oh, it's for you. You cannot imagine, there was 5 men, grown-up men, they were crying, all of them. They were finished. No, it's surreal. I'm a father. That feeling, oof, hey, you had such a little creature and this is your child. You walk around the corridors of the hospital, you think, oh my God, my life will never be the same. And it wasn't. Not at all. And my daughter, I looked in her eyes, I was going, Gah! You know who looked out of that small baby? Who looked at me? An old, frustrated man who was born again. She had a look like, oh no, not again. But it was just for a little while. And then it disappeared and it was just a little baby. Very educational to see that. And she's still like that. When I talk to my daughter, I don't talk to 25 years old girl. Not at all. I talk to maybe 40 years old woman. We always had this kind of relationship. Can you imagine a 4 years old daughter looks at the father and goes, I know. You like me very much, I know that. So, I know you love me, so you don't have to buy this for me, but I know that you want me to be happy. So just in case you would like me to be happy, you could buy it for me. You know, it's 4 years old. Complete brainwashing here. I'm getting manipulated here. What is this? And I bought it, of course. She could just do like this. This is something which you have to experience, that one. It's just like you think, nobody in my life manipulate me like this. Not even my wife, nobody. I'm a pretty proud person, you know. Not like this. A little girl like this, and she gets me flat. She can do with me whatever she wants. My daughter start to walk physically when she was around 5 years old. You know why? Because I carried her all the time. She said, why should I walk? This guy is carrying me all the time. That happens, it was very late, you know. So these children usually are very spoiled. But it's an individual person, you know. It's like, and you have to experience that. Being married is like looking in a mirror. That's what it is. You think, oh, I'm still okay. Even in spiritual life, I'm detached and I'm okay. I'm okay. The wife is one mirror, the Torah is another mirror, and they show you how detached you are. And this is a challenge. On the other side, it's very regulating, because nowadays, after going through this, when I see you, when I see some young girl or whatever, actually I see my Torah. You know. They're saying, yeah, I understand a bit what you are going through. Yeah. This you have to experience. You cannot teach it in a theoretical way. You have to go through this also emotionally. When you are married, you are living close to a female, you learn to know, this is not easy. I don't envy any female to have a female body, sorry. I don't understand what it is, but it's very complicated. Very complicated. Men, they are simple, you know, they are just, woohoo, action, stop, you know, gas, you know, brake, gas, brake, pull. That's man. Female, oh my God, this gets complicated. So to have such a body, wow. And then coming to Krishna consciousness, that's quite amazing. You get more and more refined understanding of the people around you by going through a life like this. And I met very cruel people, but even that cruelty which initially shocked me, how can somebody be so cruel? I understood that actually he is also manipulated from his past. This is his destiny. That doesn't make things right, you know. There is a limit to what you can tolerate, but there's a reason for that. All the people who came in my life and gave me pain, at a certain point you become grateful even to them. They also had a function. That pain was administered in a precise way to bring me more to reality. Some people perceive spiritual life some kind of way to dream themselves away, you know, just like meditate and you discover another dimension. Oh. No, not in Krishna consciousness. You know to whom this Bhagavad Gita is spoken? This is the essence of spiritual knowledge. It's spoken to a soldier on a battlefield before the battle starts. Not exactly a place to discuss philosophy, you know. And you know what happened after, the Arjuna, who heard Bhagavad Gita from Krishna? You know what happened after? He killed everybody. Massive war. Pretty bloody, you know. How is it possible? Such a highest knowledge being revealed under these circumstances. Because this world we are living in, it's in its essence, it's a quite harsh place. And that you learn also. You know, and you don't become like, people know that, but they become very depressed by that. They go, there's no fun here. Okay, so what can we do, you know, la 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 la. They learn even to enjoy their own misery. That's way forward. That's really amazing. They make culture out of their own misery. No, this is laziness. Because there is another dimension to it you can discover in Krishna consciousness while being aware of the misery. Yes. But the misery become like encouraging. Yeah. Therefore I should be more serious in spiritual life, because the material life is becoming quite painful. Good, good, good. Only to the degree we are materially disappointed or frustrated, we can become spiritually inspired. It's proportional. So when you are in Krishna consciousness, you learn the connection and you start to not provoke. Not like we are sort of masochistic, you know. Yeah, please, more pain, more pain. You don't have to ask for it. It will come anyway. But when it's coming, you know, then you take it as an educational thing. Oh, yeah. There's something to learn here. And simultaneously, as I described, by dint of the 4 principles we follow, we don't want to increase the pain. Because these 4 principles, they simply increase. If you don't follow that, you simply increase your pain. That's what you are doing. The people think, oh, this is austere, renouncing this. No, we are just renouncing the pain. That's what we are doing. We are too lazy to suffer like this. And if you have a positive option and positive alternatives, wonderful. Yeah? So my whole autobiographic summary would be, I am so grateful for all that pain which came in my life, and for all the realizations which were given to me. I didn't achieve it. It was given. You learn in Krishna consciousness that whatever happens is given to you. And you have choices. That doesn't mean you are just, you know, passive. No, no, no. I have choices, but the lessons which you get, they are administered. And the more you get attention of God, and you get attention of the spiritual master, the more precisely the lessons are administered. It's a great thing. Oh, I am so happy for this lifetime. At least I know already now when I'm going to die, I know I had a good time. This was really something, this lifetime. And it's still going on. I mean, what am I doing here actually? What am I doing in Zagreb? I don't know. They invited me to come. What was this? How did I get to Croatia anyway? I don't know. I didn't plan last year for that. I was here last year. They said, please come again. So I came again, okay. What happens this year or by the end of this year? I don't know. People say, oh, this is crazy to live like this. What about your security? Wow, I think, what about your security? You don't know one damn thing what happens even tomorrow morning when people talk about security. What security? I was today walking through Zagreb. It was also very educational. I got the news that there was a heavy earthquake here a few years ago in a central town, which is very unusual. So much for the security. I think nobody expected that to happen. Suddenly you sit in a building like this and it's shaking and you go up, 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 up. When is going to fall the roof on my head? So much for security in this world. And they still talk about this. Security. What security? But we have to be careful and not to make things worse. Therefore we are seeking proper association. We don't just come together with people who we obviously destroying their lives. Why should I do that? So we seek positive alternatives, and this is what this movement is for, to give people a positive alternative. So anyway, otherwise I don't want to be too autobiographic. Every devotee has his own story to tell. I like that. I like to travel around and listen to people. How are you living? What happened to you? Huh? Because there's always something I learn. Whenever I thought in my life, oh, this is really bad. Oh my God, what is happening to me? I always somebody was sent to me who had much worse. I was going, well, when he survived that, then what am I complaining about? It was very encouraging to see the misery of the other. I was going, oh yeah, he survived that, he's chanting Hare Krishna, so what am I complaining about? I mean, in a summary, my life was not about locations, was not about countries or locations, it was about people. I met many amazing people in my life. Starting with Srila Prabhupada, that changed my life entirely. And those who are devoted to him and this, I met amazing people. When I look around, I think, oh my God, people have such a boring life. And they are looking for that, they would like to have it, but they don't know how to get it. Anyway, there's something more? Some corrections or something? I'm happy for any feedback or whatever. So thank you for coming, because otherwise, when Srila Prabhupada came to America, nobody came. Nobody was prepared for that even. You know what he did? He gave the same lecture but to the walls. It's recorded. He had a recorder. So he just pushed the recorder and was going, ladies and gentlemen. And then he gave a lecture. Because he said, my spiritual master told me to go there and give lectures, so I did that. Even nobody came. Because I knew God is listening. So I did it for him. And then some people came. I was going, oh, that's nice. Please sit down. And I did the same thing. And they joined in. That's actually what we are doing. But it becomes nicer when some people join in, of course. Reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, so, but you had a family before. What happened to the family? Was it Krishna conscious? Prabhupada said, not very much. Therefore, I started another family. And he pointed to his disciples. Who were like, wow! Oh yeah, we are one big spiritual family. That feeling you got when you were in the presence of Srila Prabhupada. Okay? Srila Prabhupada ki jai.